so excited. We are here to talk about a new group of Studio Ghibli Fest films, and it's also kind of our obscure animation for this month. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but we're here to talk about Ponyo, and my friend Stanford is here with me.
Hi.
Yeah, and so basically what happened, so every month we're doing these obscure animations, and then last year we did Studio Ghibli Fest, which was 6 months of each month a Studio Ghibli film, and now they're bringing it back because it was such a success, which is super exciting.
I know. Isn't that the best news? I was so happy to hear that.
And there's 9 films that they're doing this year, and they are actually repeating some of the ones they did last year. So we decided we're going to cover this first film, and Ponyo, and as kind of a both Studio Ghibli Fest and obscure animation, even though it's not that obscure. But anyway, and we're going to cover that this month, and maybe some other ones, but we won't cover everyone because we've already said everything we have to say about something like Totoro.
I know.
I mean, maybe there's
That's true.
It is Totoro. But anyway, so that's kind of what we're doing, and so that's kind of a double using it for 2 things this month, and so Ponyo, it is also celebrating its 10th anniversary.
10th anniversary, which like I can't believe it. Like, where does the time go?
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's so crazy that this came out in the United States in 2008.
2008.
Amazing.
I can't believe it, Rachel.
Yeah. And I've been, in April, I'm going to be doing a podcast with my friend Conrado, where we're going to go over our top 10 favorite movies of 2008. And it was a pretty good year.
Good movie year.
Movie year. There was, it wasn't as strong. It's, as far as animation, it's kind of, outshined by 2009, which is probably the best year of animation ever. That it was pretty amazing. 2009 had Coraline and Fantastic Mr. Fox and Princess and the Frog and A Town Called Panic and just an just amazing year for animation that had and Secret of the Kells. It was just an amazing year. So this year wasn't quite the same, but Ponyo was a really fun film from that year. So we're going to talk about it. And Ponyo is actually, I believe, the movie that made the most money of Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, I think that's right too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
huge hit.
Yeah, you can understand why.
You can understand why. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it. And I think that it's pretty clear that Spirited Away was the most critically successful, and Ponyo was the most financially successful.
Yeah.
And so what was your kind of overall, you weren't able to go to the screening.
Oh, I know, which was devastating, but I I watched it on Blu-ray. I've got it. I own it on Blu-ray, and I was able to watch it again and wish I were seeing it on the big screen.
Yeah.
But it's such, again, just a charming and wildly creative movie. And I just was struck again at just how beautiful the animation is. It's hand-drawn animation, and the colors are so vibrant. The storytelling is always so on point with Miyazaki, and it's just wonderful from start to finish.
So for me, so I did see it on the big screen. That was a real treat, real delight. And I did see it dubbed. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because the dubbed. Yeah, I wish that they had. Yeah, well, we can talk about a little bit more about my wishes for the execution of Studio Ghibli Fest, but that'll be later.
Yeah. But so for me, this movie, I've always really loved it. But I think that, I've been surprised. It's been a movie that I felt like I had to defend a lot. And every time I go see it, I still love it. But I think you kind of have to recognize it for what it is. Like, this is a movie for little children. And I think that it does what it's trying to do extremely well. And I've been to so many movies that are supposedly made for little children that are dumb and boring
Right.
and like not creative. I mean, I just saw Sherlock Gnomes, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
And
All this scatological humor, you
all
know,
the
and all this
minions
stuff is just so
movies.
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It speaks down to the kids, you know,
yeah.
like lowest common denominator, not even that.
And I think that without a shadow of a doubt that that Ponyo is the cutest movie from Studio Ghibli. I think the only one that's in competition is Totoro.
But
But
this I think is cuter. Yeah, if you're going for like just for cute.
Just for cuteness. And I mean, the only thing I can really, I mean, it's just really unique. I mean, I guess you could kind of compare it to say like, I don't know, like a My Little Pony or something like that. That sort of takes some fantasy elements but makes them for young kids, something like that. I don't know, it's hard to think of a movie that like there's nothing in here that's scary, and like, there's nothing in here like this is for little kids. And I mean, you can kind of maybe compare it to Winnie the Pooh, but I think Winnie the Pooh is more like philosophical. And Totoro certainly is also. I don't know, it's just this sweet little fantasy,
innocent
for little kids, which I really enjoy. And it just has such a sweet message and a sweetness to it, and everything is just so cute, and I just enjoy it. But I don't know, it's an interesting film for Miyazaki.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of a surprising film, you know, particularly since his previous films were so deep, you know, and had such strong messages and such about, you know, his environmentalism and all these different things, where this maybe skims a little bit, but it is a movie. Really well said, Rachel. It's a movie for young children. You know, the two main characters are kind of, well, it's like this little boy, he's 5 years old, and I really think that's who this movie's being made for. You know, it's just like kind of 4 to 5 year old kids that could really relate to it.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely. And so it's interesting too, because it doesn't have a lot of the tropes that are typical in a Miyazaki film. It's not the lead character. I mean, I guess you could say Ponyo is the lead character, but I think Sasuko is really the lead character.
I do too. I think that the little boy is the lead character.
Yeah. And usually he has young girls as his lead characters. Usually he has them going through some kind of mental health crisis of some kind. And, you know, like he doesn't have any talking talking cats.
Right.
You know, just he doesn't have any flying scenes. Some of those things that you see in a lot of Miyazaki movies you don't see in Ponyo. But I still think it's you can tell it's a Miyazaki movie. And we'll talk about some of the reasons why, but it's an interesting, it does have a little bit of an environmental message, but it's really just supposed to be a sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Say it just kind of skims the surface, and as an adult you'd recognize that. I'm not sure. Maybe subliminally the kids would do it or would recognize it. But still, that's one of the things that I really love about any of these Miyazaki films, and Ponyo in particular, is that even though he's making it for 5-year-olds, he's just treating them with such respect, you know, that these kids can, you know, they might not have knowledge and experience, but they've got intuition, you know, and they've got feelings, and it's really beautiful in that regard, I think.
Yeah. So with Sasuke finding Ponyo,
in
this trash, and that's kind of the subtle environmental message of the movie. There's this trash in the ocean.
Filthy.
And her name is Brunhilde, which she definitely got an upgrade to Ponyo.
Yeah, Ponyo's a better name than Brunhilde, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and her father is basically like the wizard of the ocean, and I mean, I guess that's what is his actual title?
Well, I don't know if he has a title. You know, but yeah, he's like the wizard of the ocean. He's formerly, I guess, a human, right? At one point, he like
but he still has to have like the bubble.
Yeah, he
About
still
him.
has these human characteristics, and it's almost like he
'Cause
still
he
is
has,
human, even though he doesn't claim to be one anymore.
yeah, because he has this elixir that like is this magic, and they don't really like. Some people are like, "Oh, this movie's so like convoluted. It doesn't explain any of the magic and whatever." It's true, but
Doesn't need to though. I didn't
yeah,
think it's just like this. He's this magic wizard guy, and you
yeah,
just accept it. And he's so funky looking. He looks like David Bowie in Labyrinth or something. Kind of thing. I love his character design,
yeah,
and because
yeah. He does look a lot like
he
him.
kind of has that Miyazaki villain face,
Hmm.
but yeah, with all that hair and that great striped suit, and
Yeah,
he's very elegant looking, almost in a way. I think he's a great villain.
yeah, and well, because he's
If
not
he even is a
really.
villain,
Yeah.
I don't even know if he is going to say there's clearly not a villain in the movie. He's just like kind of the villain, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just like a concerned parent. And,
yeah. There you go.
and
True.
there's all these other little Ponyos, but anyway, she ends up breaking free. She ends up in this jar, and so, Suzuki, he ends up cutting his finger on the jar, and she ends up sucking on his finger and healing the the cut, and this causes her to like instantly bond with Sasuke in this like
Yeah, it's like it changes her DNA too,
yeah,
right? Isn't that what they say, that because of intaking that blood, that it's changed her body composition? Like,
yeah.
okay.
Once you go human, you can't go back.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we learned from Splash and from
Yes.
Little
Little
Mermaid.
Mermaid.
And so she just loves Sasuke so much. That's sort of the theme of this movie, is just love and loving people for who they are,
Mm-hmm.
what they are, and and Ponyo loves things so much. And there's basically what happens, because she ends up getting put back in the ocean, but she's got like the taste for Sasuke. She can't go back,
Yeah.
and she ends up through various things like kind of causing this elixir to like cause this huge imbalance in nature. And this is where we get this long sequence of sort of the storm section of the movie.
Yeah, it's like really almost like a tsunami, like this endless tsunami, right?
Yeah, and Sasuke's mother works at this nursing home, and the women there are just so fun. And that's a Miyazaki trope. It's sort of the older
Yes.
women.
Yeah, exactly. And they're fun. I mean, they're perfect. It's
Yeah.
a great
And
section.
yeah, and so and she's like drives like a maniac trying to get back, because she wants to get back to the house because they live in a lighthouse, and her husband is on a boat, and she's really upset with him at first because he can't get back. And there's that, I think, a hilarious scene.
I love that scene too. Yeah.
Yeah, bug off, bug off. Yeah, where they do Morse code.
Morse code.
The most intense Morse
The
code.
woman's saying jerk, 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 or whatever, and then he's saying, I love you.
It was really good. That's really funny. And and anyway, yeah, so she's just like super intense driver, but she's very like accepting of Ponyo, and just very like fearless and fun, and a lot of times the parents in Miyazaki movies can be kind of not great.
Right. But I love her. His mom's name is Sasuke's mom is named Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa is such a good character. Yeah. I think. What do you think?
I do too. Like, she's funny, and I'm not a big Tina Fey fan. I know that's like shocking, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of hers. But like, she does a pretty good job, fine job voicing her in the dub.
See, I'm gonna have to watch the dub because I rewatched the sub.
Oh, okay.
And So yeah, I missed out on some because they assembled a very nice
Yeah.
English voice cast
Liam
for this.
Neeson,
Yeah,
Kate Blanchett, Betty
yeah,
White, Cloris Leachman. So they do have a pretty good cast, and they anyway. She's fun. She's honest. She's accepting. She's warm. She's a fun character because a lot of times the parents in Miyazaki films can be kind of judgy and kind of
yes,
whatever if you
yeah,
get to know them at all.
yeah.
You have someone like Kiki where you don't really get to.
Right, you just don't really get to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, and so she decides to, so she kind of helps him uh, and getting, they need to get to the, they need to get back home so that they can be at the lighthouse. And as they're driving along this crazy tsunami, like this is just such an amazing sequence. Like
yeah.
when Ponyo is running on the ocean
Oh, I
with
love
the
that.
giant
I think that's
fish,
my
like
favorite.
that is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh, I love like that
Yeah.
color of blue.
I do too.
It's such like a, it's like such a pretty color.
Yeah.
And her like orange dress
Mhm.
and the it looks so
Yeah.
beautiful.
And her hair and the
Oh.
and that look on her face, which is just it's really it's this happiness, you know, because she can see the car, you know, the
Yeah.
Sasuke and I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. I was trying to practice his name, and they were saying it in Japanese, you know, and it was
yeah.
like Suzuka or something. Horrible catchy. Anyway, but yeah, I'm with you. I just that scene is incredible.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so energetic. And the music throughout this movie, I think, is one of Joe Hisashi's best scores. It really feels like a symphonic score. Like it feels like they recorded it with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir at times. Like, to me, it's very, very big choral sounds, very big sounds. It almost seems like John Williams at times to me.
Yeah, it does. No, I agree. That's and that was another thing that was making me sad when I was just listening to my little speakers on my TV. You know, I was like, oh, I wish I could hear that soundtrack, you know, in the big stereo system in the theater.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think of like where he's come from, like what he did with Nausicaa, which was like electric and very 80s. Like this is just so different. It's
this is
pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I agree. It's just very orchestral and just beautiful. Yeah.
Really, really, really great. And I just that sequence goes on for a long time.
It's really long.
Yeah.
But it's really compelling.
Yeah.
I think too. It's it's so well put together and so well, you know, just conceived and created and edited and everything. I love it. In fact, by the time it ends, I just kind of sounds like, oh, I still want us to keep going. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful. And the thing I like about this movie is that and some people get frustrated by this fact because it is kind of all over the place at times, but I think it is refreshingly unpredictable.
Yes, agreed.
And, I did a piece for Rotoscopers about this movie, and I said in there, I said, Ponyo changes from fish to human to part fish, back to human again a lot, and you never know quite where things are going to go. And I said, plus, like I said, she's just so darn adorable in whatever phase she's in. So
yeah, it's true.
I think that
well said.
Is true. It's just very unpredictable. Like I don't know. I mean, you do kind of know that like she's going to end up with Sasuke somehow in the end, but I don't know. Like she's just changing and morphing and going back and forth, and 1 minute she's walking on the water, and the next minute she's just completely asleep. She can't even move. I think it is pretty unpredictable.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's really, I think, fun. And so they end up getting to the house, which they end up, like, he says, stop, there's a girl out there. And then he realizes when they get her, he realizes, oh my gosh, this is Ponyo. And it's a girl. And they bring her in and they spend like the evening, and there's just some super cute scenes
Yeah,
of
it's
like
cute.
the mom making them tea, and we find out, and this is perfect for Easter week because we find out that Ponyo's obsession
Yeah,
is ham.
it's ham. I know. I love that about her character too. Oh, that's so funny that Miyazaki did, put that in. I wonder if he met a little kid or someone,
It was
maybe one
like
of his own
ham.
children, that just loved ham. And so,
I mean, that ham
all
looks
things.
good though. Like anime, can we just talk for a second of how like great anime food always looks?
I know it's
Oh,
true, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
and this is one of my favorites. Like it's just looks so. I'm not even that big of like a ham person, but it just looks so good
Yeah,
with like the hot, broth. I
yeah.
love like big bowls of ramen, like real
Yeah.
ramen. I mean, I like
Yes.
bad ramen too, but like to
I
go to
know
a ramen
exactly what you mean.
shop.
Right.
Oh,
Yes. It's got all that wonderful
oh
stuff in it. Yeah. And it's just, it was drawn beautifully. The ramen
yeah.
made you want to sit there and eat it with them.
And I love when she gets out the sandwiches later on, and, and like, "Here, you can have them." And she's like, "Don't worry, she's already eaten all the ham out of." I just love it. I think that's
So
so
cute.
cute.
Really cute.
And yeah, so she's obsessed with ham. And upset, which is like really true to like little kid. Like what little kid can't relate to that? Like the like kids are just very like I don't know, especially with food or with
Yeah.
like even with movies and stuff, they'll just have like one thing that they want like all the time.
All the time.
Like
Yeah.
when it's just like I want to have chicken nuggets every day for the rest of my life.
Right. Exactly. That really, it just really captured it, captured the essence of that part of
Yeah.
a child's behavior. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you start to see Susuke and Ponyo really growing close, becoming friends, and so this is when by the end of the kind of the evening, Lisa starts to get worried about the people at the nursing home.
Yeah.
And so she goes with a bunch of supplies and stuff and leaves Ponyo and Sasuke at home. And this is when things get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Crazier.
Yeah.
And this is kind of where we first really get to see we get to see Ponyo's mother. Grana Marie, I guess is how you say
Yeah.
it. The goddess of the sea, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, I think that it's so perfect for the dub that they got Cate Blanchett because I really think that she is very similar to what is it? Gladmo? What's her name?
Oh, from The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Galadriel?
Galadriel, yeah, sorry. Galadriel. I think that
I think that's it.
yeah. I feel like she's kind of similar. There's
Yeah,
something
no, I agree.
ephemeral about her.
Yeah.
Something kind of unsure. You don't really know. Is she good? Is she bad? Like, what's going on with her? I don't know. What do you think of her?
Well, she's very large, right? At least the way that she was drawn. Beautiful, kind of mysterious, but almost like I mean, I thought the way she was presented, she was very much like the goddess of the sea, right?
Yeah.
And which I think she is, isn't she? Basically, or something similar to it. But her the jewels and also the way she was drawn to, she doesn't seem like she's a Miyazaki villain. I mean, and again, not that there's a villain in the show, but she seems like she's a person who's got goodness,
Yeah.
in her.
Yeah.
And again, just to me, it was just again amazing, just so imaginative.
Yeah.
Given just her size, and then how the little kids are interacting with her, you know, and just the way the scenes are laid out. I thought it was really imaginative and fun. And again, as you said, surprising. Like, you just don't expect this giant sea woman to appear.
Well, and I loved the little like cocoon storyline that happened.
Yes, exactly.
With all the old people that being
it's totally cocoon.
The being in the care of this grandman.
Yeah, she puts this bubble over them.
And it makes them able to run and
right. They feel young again and not be stuck in their wheelchairs or whatever or whatever you know is ailing them. Yeah, it's totally fun. Like this fountain of youth kind of thing, or this elixir, yeah.
And then there's this whole part where things get kind of more still while Sasuke and Ponyo are going to try to find his mom.
Yeah.
They wake up and
his mom.
And so Ponyo uses her magic in order to make his little he has this little ship.
Toy boat.
I've never seen a toy like this, except for it must be a Japan thing, but it has a little candle that the light of the candle makes the propeller go. And so when she's through her magic is able to expand the ship, it also expands the candle and it makes it like a speed boat kind of thing.
The boats it hauls.
But she does drain a lot of her magic. Sleep and
tired.
And there's a couple, like, this is just sort of a more quiet section. Because you have this whole sequence where she's talking to this woman with this baby.
I kind of don't know what that does to the movie, you know, if anything. It seems very random. In fact, just thinking now, is there something I need to get out of this? But
I don't know if she's just like, I guess she just needed to learn about like babies or being human.
What I wonder. Is this like a human connection kind of thing, maybe?
This baby's kind of cantankerous. This little baby.
I know.
She's not having any of it. And so Ponyo tries to give the baby some of her tea, but the mother says, "Oh, well, I'll drink it, or soup. I'll drink it, and then it'll, be milk for the baby." And she's like, "Okay." And so they have this funny little interaction. And then also, she sort of heal the baby too from being sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is sort of fun adventures with Ponyo.
Yeah, exactly. Just one of those little kind of random.
And then you get another sequence where you have all the people evacuating.
Yes.
And it's sort of funny because they just treat Sasuke as like completely legit being out on this boat in the middle of a disaster. They're like
5-year-old.
They're like, aye, Captain. Go on your way. We're evacuating, but go find your mom.
Yeah, it's so random. It's like maybe, and I just wondered because maybe they just know him well enough. They're like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. It's pretty funny. And also, we do have some scenes in this section with Sasuke's father.
Yeah.
And they notice like this huge moon, and just everything's all out of whack and crazy.
Yeah, nature has just gone awry.
Yeah. And so they finally get to Sasuke and Ponyo. Finally get to the bubble area where the cocoon stuff is happening. But Ponyo is like almost fish at that point because of her magic is just gone. And basically, like, the ending of this movie is that there's sort of a test upon Sasuke that, like, is he willing to love Ponyo no matter what, whether she's a fish, whether she's a human, whatever it is, he has to love her. And I mean, I always thought, I guess I never really I never really thought about that, but like they kind of almost get married a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's kind of weird, and yeah, it is. It's like they're getting married, or they're becoming like brother and sister or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's like this connection. It's almost, yeah. Clearly, there's like some kind of a vow, right?
Yeah.
There's vows that are taken.
That you will promise to love her no matter
Yeah,
what. And that's the main message of the movie, is that you accept people and love them unconditionally, and that love is what balances out nature and makes everything okay.
yeah.
And how can you not like that message? I mean,
It's a great message,
it's a
and
great
again,
message.
told in such a clever way
Yeah.
that just doesn't hit kids over the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
It's something that they can figure out I think remember.
Yeah.
Remember about it, and gives them something that I think really important to consider.
Well, it's not just tagged on at the end like some messages.
Right.
Like I really enjoyed Zootopia. I really did. But that is obviously way more like, we're going to have a voiceover narration tell you what the message is, and
It's a big message
have,
movie.
it's a huge message movie, which is fine. But like, I think something like this, in a way, like it's I mean, they're different and I appreciate both. But I don't know, I just appreciate this, that it's just sort of its story, and it just has this sweet, simple message.
Subtle.
It's compared to what we got in like the 90s, when you had like, say, Fern Gully or movies like that that were, I don't hate those movies, but
really
like
preachy,
very heavy-handed, with the environmental messages and with the with the messages. This just tells you, because that Sasuke loves Ponyo so much, and how can he not, because she's the most adorable thing ever.
It's really such a cute character in any form. It's so cute. Yeah, really, really well done.
Yeah. So it was really, really fun. And I really like Roger Ebert. He said in his review that it's one of the rare movies where I want to sit in the front row to drown in it. This is more than artistry, it is art.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Great quote, and so true. That's what I, again, was just really overcome with watching it again, is the artistry. I mean, the animation that they do at Studio Ghibli is so remarkable. All those hand-drawn backgrounds, all the crazy things we're talking about with that tsunami. But even like when Ponyo is escaping his house, and everything becomes like that gold stream or whatever those is, all those. I mean, it's incredible, because it's so foreign to what happens in the real world, yet it just makes sense, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So I really, really enjoy it. I think I can understand why people think it's a little convoluted, or it is kind of a weird movie, but I personally think it's way better in both those regards than Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's way less convoluted, and it's way less weird. I mean, I think that Howl's Moving Castle has more probably emotion to it, with Sophie and her character and everything, but I don't know, this is just way more easy to follow.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to follow, and everything.
Like, the magic gets a little convoluted, but I think it doesn't really matter, because it's so obvious all along that it's about the love of these two characters and their joy, and it's just a very joyful film in that regard. So and you can just, like Roger said, you can just enjoy it as art. It's just beautiful art with this amazing music, and it's not that long, so you can just enjoy it for what it is.
One of the things that I remember thinking about when I saw the preview for this movie, 10 years ago, 2008, to me, this was like, oh, this looks like The Little Mermaid from Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's it maybe got a little bit of an element, but it's so different. So for anybody who hasn't watched it for whatever reason, it's definitely worth considering because it's so beautiful and so interesting on so many levels.
And there should be no excuse for fans of my channel to have not watched Ponyo because we've talked about it here. I did it for Family Movie Night, and I reviewed it for There's no excuse. There's no excuse. But
representing Studio Ghibli. Impressive.
So yeah, I would give it, I don't know, 4.5 stars. I originally had it as one of my top 50 animated films of all time. And when I did it back in like 2015, 2014, I can't remember. But, and I got, like, it was near the end. It was in the 50. It was in the 40s.
40s.
And
40s.
And I got a lot of flack. People pushed back a lot on that. But I stand by it. I really like it. I hadn't seen Nausicaa, but at the time I had Spirited Away, Totoro, Princess Kaguya, and I think Ponyo on my top 50 list for Studio Ghibli. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My tops are Spirited Away and Totoro.
Okay.
On there. So and then Kaguya. But anyway, there's so many great ones. It's hard.
Well, they're great. They're just,
so
Miyazaki is such a genius, and I don't mean to use that term,
lightly.
I know that term gets overused, but he is.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. I mean,
he's such a tremendous artist and storyteller.
Yeah.
And for him to come up with these original stories, and sure they've got some bits and pieces that maybe were brought in from other other stories or whatever. But it's such an original.
It's amazing if like your worst movie is House Moving Castle. Like
I know.
That's pretty darn good.
I know. Good track record.
Yeah. Next month we are going to do Rise of the Guardians, a DreamWorks film that is it's amongst animation fans. It's I guess well known, but I think it qualifies for our obscure animation.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that, and we are going to be recording on Friday. We're going to be recording our Disney canon. We're getting it done early this month. We're going to be talking about The Jungle Book, so that will be really fun.
Really excited.
I'm super excited.
I have to watch that again. I love that movie.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think of Ponyo. Do you like it? Not like it? That would be really fun to talk about in the comment section. And thanks so much for coming on talking about this.
Thank you, Rachel. Always a pleasure. Really great to see this movie.
Yeah. So where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Stanford Clark. And I also have a movie blog. It's moviespastandpresent.com.
Yeah. In fact, I loved that post that you had today about if people are looking for obscure animation on Turner Classic Movies, right? That they're doing out of the vault.
Oh, Disney Vault tomorrow night. Yeah, it's Thursday night. They Thursday night, March 29th.
Yeah,
they're playing, and they do this maybe once a quarter, and I think they're doing at least 3 Disney animated shorts, and then some films. Leonard Maltin hosts, and he always provides some really interesting, commentary, and it's many of these shorts you might have already seen, but still, they're usually a lovely digital restoration, and it's fun. So
I'm excited.
I just set the DVR, and I've got some fun stuff to watch.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
It's always a good night. I hope they continue with it. We'll see what happens in the future, but for now, we have another one tomorrow.
So and you can follow me here at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube, and also over on my Hallmarkies podcast this week. We did a whole episode on Once Upon a Time. So if you're a Disney fan that likes Once Upon a Time, check that out. We had a lot of fun doing that. So lots of stuff going on this week. I also had my review of Ready Player One that posted this week. So you guys will want to check that out too. And Yeah, so thanks again, and we will talk again on Friday.
Sounds good, Rachel. Thank you so much.
Bye.